fourth graders. For today, we're going to be looking at our Bible, page 118, Daniel, a Man of Courage. We're going to be reading about the story of Daniel in the lion's den and applying that to the theme for this week of having the courage to stand alone. That's exactly what Daniel did. The book of Daniel is full of examples showing the courage of a young person to stand alone for what is right. Daniel was a young man in a strange land. His parents were not with him. He was alone with 2 or 3 friends. It would have been easy to do things the rulers wanted him to do rather than follow God. Daniel had to make some important choices early in his life that would decide the kind of character that he would have for all his life. By the time the events of Daniel 6 occurred, Daniel was an older man. The choices he made when he was young were still a part of his life. Instead of being a young slave boy, however, God had given Daniel responsibility as one of the leaders of this land. Some of the other rulers were trying to find fault with Daniel so they could get rid of him. They had the king make a new law in order to trap Daniel. So we're going to read Daniel chapter 6 in order to answer these questions. Okay. Daniel 6 says, "It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 satraps to be throughout the whole kingdom, and over them 3 high officials, of whom Daniel was one, to whom these satraps should give account so that the king might suffer no loss." Basically, Darius is the king, and he's going to put 120 different people in charge of different parts of his kingdom. And then there are going to be 3 men who are in charge of these 120 people. And so you've got the king, you've got like city mayors, and then you've got the governors who are in charge of the mayors, that kind of thing. Daniel was one of those governors who reported directly to the king and was responsible to keep track of some of these officials. This Daniel became distinguished above all the other high officials and satraps because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king planned to set over him the whole kingdom. Then the high officials and the satraps sought to find a ground for complaint against Daniel with regard to the kingdom, but they could find no ground for complaint or any fault because he was faithful and no error or fault was found in him. So basically, Daniel was doing such an amazing job that the king noticed. And the king decided that instead of Daniel being one of the 3 men in charge of the 120 men, Daniel should just be in charge of everybody. And the other 2 men, especially who were the officials, did not like this idea. They didn't like Daniel. And so they tried to find a reason for Daniel not to be given this responsibility. But they couldn't find anything that Daniel had done wrong. He had done right all through. His whole reputation was of doing right. They could find no one who would complain about him. So then these men said, "We shall not find any ground for complaint against this Daniel unless we find it in connection with the law of his God." Then these high officials and satraps came by agreement to the king and said to him, "O King Darius, live forever." All the high officials of the kingdom, the prefects and the satraps and the counselors and the governors, all agreed that the king should establish an ordinance and enforce an injunction that whoever made petition to any god or man for 30 days, except you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the injunction and sign the document so that it cannot be changed according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which cannot be revoked. Therefore, King Darius signed the document and injunction. So because all these officials couldn't find anything wrong with Daniel, they decided that they were going to set him up in like a trap. They knew that Daniel prayed to his God. Daniel worshiped the true God, and none of these other people did. They were all worshiping idols and false gods. And here they go to the king and they convince the king that the whole kingdom should worship only the king for 30 days. No one was allowed to worship anybody else. They were setting King Darius up like a god. And King Darius's pride loved that. He thought, "Ooh, I want all the people to worship me." And so he signed this law. Now, it's important to note the law of the Medes and the Persians. That is something that is completely binding. When it says here it cannot be revoked, even the king is not allowed to change his mind. So once you've got this type of law, it cannot be changed. No one on earth can change the law. So when he signs this law, it's official forever. So when Daniel knew that the document had been signed, he went to the house where he had windows in his upper chamber open toward Jerusalem. He got down on his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his God as he'd done previously. Then these men came by agreement and found Daniel making petition and plea before his God. Then they came near and said before the king concerning the injunction, "O king, did you not sign an injunction that anyone who makes a petition to any god or man within 30 days, except to you, O king, shall be cast into the lion's den? The king answered and said, the thing stands fast, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be revoked. So Daniel, 3 times a day, is continuing to pray to God, even though the law says he's not allowed to. He's going to obey God rather than man. And the leaders and officials, they go to the king and they say, King, didn't you make this law that no one was allowed to pray? And then here in verse 13, then they answered and said before the king, Daniel, who's one of the exiles from Judah, pays no attention to you, O king, or the injunction that you have signed, but makes his petition 3 times a day. They tattle on him, basically. Then the king, when he heard these words, was much distressed and set his mind to deliver Daniel, and he labored till the sun went down to rescue him. Then these men came by agreement to the king and said to the king, Know, O king, that it is a law of the Medes and Persians that no injunction or ordinance that the king established can be changed. Then the king commanded, and Daniel was brought and cast into the den of lions. The king declared to Daniel, May your God, whom you serve continually, deliver you. And a stone was brought and laid in the mouth of the den. And the king sealed it with his own signet and the signet of his lords, that nothing might be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and spent the night fasting. No divisions were brought to him, and fled from him. So the king has no choice but to put Daniel in the lion's den, because that's what the law says, and no one's allowed to go against the law. But the king does say to Daniel, May your God, who you continually serve, delivers you. He's noticed that Daniel is so faithful to God that he thinks maybe that Daniel's God will help him. And he seals it up. No one can open it. But notice the king's he's not just pleased about this. He's very upset. He couldn't sleep and he couldn't eat. And the whole night he was waiting to see what would happen. Then at the break of the day, the king arose and went in haste to the den of lions. As he came near to the den where Daniel was, he cried out in a tone of anguish. The king declared to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to deliver you from the lions? Then Daniel said to the king, O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the lion's mouth, and they have not harmed me, because I was found blameless before him. And also before you, O king, I have done no harm. Then the king was exceedingly glad, and commanded that Daniel be taken up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no kind of harm was found on him, because he had trusted in his God. And the king commanded, and those men who had maliciously accused Daniel were brought and cast into the den of lions, they and their children and their wives. And before they reached the bottom of the den, the lions overpowered them, and broke all their bones in pieces. Then King Darius wrote to all the people, nations, and languages that dwell on the earth, Peace be multiplied to you. I make a decree that in all my royal dominion people are to tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, enduring forever. His kingdom shall never be destroyed, and his dominion shall be to the end. He delivers and rescues, his work signs and wonders in heaven and earth, and he who has saved Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered during the reign of Darius and the reign of Cyrus the Persian. So Daniel is found safe the next morning. God had closed up the mouth of the lions. And the next morning, the king takes those men who had tattled on Daniel and put them and their entire families in the lion's den. And said before they could even land on the floor, the lions had overpowered them. So we see here that this is truly a miracle of God. It's not just a coincidence that the lions didn't eat Daniel, because we see that they were very hungry, mean lions, because they didn't hesitate to kill all these other people. But they were peaceful and calm for Daniel. So God is in control of each situation. So as we look at our page here, we see the first question says, what law was made? In verse 7. And we see that we had a law that no one was allowed to pray to any god or man except the king for the next 30 days. And what was the punishment to be for anyone who broke the law? He would be thrown into the lion's den. Okay, go ahead and pause the video if you need to copy these answers. Now, as we move on to the back of this page, 119, we want to know, Daniel could easily have prayed in silence behind closed doors to protect himself, and what did he do instead? Well, he opened his windows and he prayed 3 times a day, just like he'd done before. Because he prayed, Daniel was thrown to the lions. How did God protect him? God sent an angel to shut the lion's mouth to protect Daniel. And what kept Daniel from being hurt in any way? It was his faith. His faith. He trusted in God. The story of Daniel is not fictional. Daniel was just as real as you are, and he loved the same God who loves you. God wants people to trust God today, just like Daniel did in Bible times.